when it comes to our faith and the values which are closely related to faith. Tamuka Gwatidzo is president of the Young Black Republicans at Fisk University. Also here are Vanderbilt students Skyler Hutto and Andrew Jacob Herrmann. Skyler is vice president of the Vanderbilt College Democrats. Andrew is active in the Vanderbilt University College Republicans. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'd like to give you all an opportunity to briefly talk about faith and values. And Andrew, I'll start with you. What role does it play in your life as a young person?
Well, I know that my Christian faith is pretty much the center of my life. And I feel that that is how I have been called to live, just live through my faith. And that definitely affects my values and how I view how I should live and how others should live.
Were you raised in a Christian home?
Yes, ma'am.
From birth, or?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And so Christianity has been part of my life my entire 19 years. However, I don't necessarily think that that's something that government should be involved in.
Okay, and Skyler, you have a little different perspective on this, and you too would call yourself as Christian, or am I,
yes, I would.
right or wrong?
And I think how I might differ a little bit from the perspective we just heard from is that I don't think that, I don't see values on the decline in the United States. I see kind of a new type of value replacing an old type of value.
What about biblical values? Do you see biblical values on the decline being replaced by another set of values?
I think I can address that. When I say old, I don't mean antiquated, and when I say new, I also don't mean they're so new or futuristic that they're bad. I think they can both be looked to as biblical. So take, for instance, the issue of same-sex marriage. We can see the quote-unquote biblical value of one man, one woman marriage kind of being, you could say, under attack or on the decline, but you also see the value of kind of loving your neighbor, having equal respect for everybody on the rise.
How does that relate to eliminating a tradition that's been a part of our culture for over 2,000 years of marriage being between one man, one woman? Well,
I would say, first of all, we're not eliminating the tradition. We're not telling everybody they need to be part of a same-sex marriage.
No, but we're redefining what a marriage is.
Right, and I think the Christian value that you can find in that is that you're having respect for everybody, no matter what sexual orientation they're born with.
So does the Bible say that we should bring respect for everyone up to the point that it causes us to move away from biblical values? And I'll come back to you and let Tamuka talk for a few minutes about his faith experience.
I'll say, as far as like my faith experience, being brought up in a Christian home, being raised in a Methodist family.
In South Africa?
In Zimbabwe.
Okay.
So I would say my upbringing and understanding how I need to look to God as far as my direction in where I need to go in life.
So how does that play out in your life? How does your faith values play out in your everyday life?
They're very important as far as they give me a sense of direction, how to guide myself, how to conduct myself in order to make me who I am today.
Okay, and I promise to go back to you, Skyler.
Sure. I think what's important to keep in mind in this context, and we really may not have time to get into every biblical quotation or every book that we want to get into.
You raised the same-sex marriage, and I felt duty-bound to respond.
And I feel like I've responded. I mean, Jesus calls us to treat one another as we would like ourselves to be treated.
Yes.
All right, well, I feel that treating my gay friends, my gay neighbors, equally to the way that I treat my straight friends and neighbors is an important Christian value. And I would like
we're running out of time.
All right.
But
go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right, well, I don't think that by diminishing one, or by bringing up one, you diminish the other.
Okay. Last word.
I would say that, biblically speaking, love is the greatest commandment that we were given, and I think that by allowing same-sex couples to get married, I would call it civil union, not marriage, but I believe that it should be allowed.
Thank you. Thanks to all three of you for joining us. I will be right back with a call to action.